No, just No, that's okay. I'll just do my credit card. You take credit card, right?
Yeah, we do.
There you go.
Hey, how do you put your credit card into the phone?
You don't.
You know?
You can do with the ones outside. Yeah, ones outside.
So how do you know? I mean, how do you know what to do?
Well, let's see. What good stuff do we have here today?
Recording right now?
Yeah.
£10.
You're on camera.
What's on?
You're on camera.
It's all right. Murphy's Irish Stout. All right. I'm trying to think of the brew we had up in Scotland. I don't see it.
We've got the 3 more bits of alcohol as well.
Oh, okay. This is for my brother. There you are.
There it is.
Guys, this is it.
Pen and parchment here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a nice form.
Where can I get you
Yeah.
what do you want to drink?
Hey,
Hey, right here.
how you doing?
Right here.
I'm gonna pan over here. I'm gonna pan on all those flowers.
Big deal. They got a river walk.
Oh, oh, oh,
Stout?
oh, oh.
Stouty?
Do I have to? Oh, I have to hit it again.
Pretty neat. I got it set so. Oh yeah.
Before I wasn't looking, when I was crossing the main street over there, and I step out from in between the cars, and there's this car coming straight down at my butt. And I mean, it was like, oh man, am I in trouble now or what? They didn't even beep. She just stopped.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You don't hear a lot of horns here.
No, you don't. It was the same in Paris. I remember that. That was nice. Where'd they go? Down there.
Down there. No rush.
That's what I said. This is what I do. I just hold the camera like this, just walk around, do my natural walk shots. Yeah, just come over here. Alright. Fade away.
Take it from me. These guys will take the cameras and run like that.
Yeah, let's see if there's a play.
Anything in the corner. Grab a corner and just walk down there to that church.
That's weird.
You want to check to see what's tonight? 7:30. What do you got?
Theater down there, huh?
Seats available. 7:30. Comedy of Errors. Joe, what do you want to do? You want to get tickets for tonight, or no? Or tomorrow night's the free night.
Tomorrow night. We'll come back down tomorrow, check it out.
Yeah. This is ground zero for Theater Hotel. All right.
All these kids go to
You're right, it should work.
Yeah. You have the same kind of stuff. You know, coming from the ski, you're wearing a long jacket. I think I can have a shorter shirt. Giving you lunch, it's not like giving you lunch when he's free.
The Thistle Hotel. Look at that. Man, that sucker's old.
What's that, this one here?
Right, no, that one across the street on the right.
You should all get in a booth like the Beatles did, you know?
Over there.
Good picture, guys.
Oh, yes, it is.
Thistle.
Hey, look at that. Look at the stuff going up in there. It's like a tree.
Hey, you want to get in there? I'll get a picture of you in there making a phone there.
Oh, it's a beautiful.
Get in there. Get in there.
It's beautiful.
Get in there. Turn around there, big guy.
It's beautiful.
Lovely.
Okay.
Sucker got some age on me, huh? Okay.
the metal detector over Willie Shakespeare's thing. He was at the service truck.
Oh,
Yeah.
everything.
That's where the keep it from. Yes, it's 210 UK. Yes. That's the back till it could be 6:30. Actually, no, we probably catch the matinee today. Oh, no.
No, I don't think there's a matinee today. It's tomorrow.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
All right.
crisp English Saturday morning here at the welcome.
Where are we? Well,
This is the golf
club.
It's about 2 weeks old, and PFE business session will start momentarily. We're waiting for all of our guests to arrive. We have Mr. Tom Routine here.
Got everything under control, Tom?
Say that, boys back home?
Good job, boys. Good job.
Tom's our spiritual leader. He's going to lead us in excitement today. That's right.
That's right.
No, and then later on today, Kurt and a few of the boys here will join a little culture. We're going to go to the Royal Shakespeare Theater to see Comedy of Errors, William Shakespeare's play matinee. So that'll start at 1:30. So it should be a fun day.
All right.
Walk around here a little bit.
How long is this play?
2 hours.
Hey.
Why don't you call over there? She'll be down in a minute, then you go back with her.
And it's raining 39 degrees. Brand new clubhouse. Just 2 weeks old. Finished.
This is why we're playing Royal Lisbon.
He's falling off the face of the earth.
He never really won anything. See, this is victory right here.
Yeah.
This is like, I got the deal.
I got the deal.
I got the assigned PO.
There it is. An EMA. Nice supply order.
You think it out of his hand, you got one of my reps.
Got the deal. Auto mailer 5.
Auto 3 stations.
Auto 3.
Sorry, bud.
Hey, Richard, my specialist yesterday.
You got the auto 3. Got the deal. Got the PO. Got the EMA.
They're talking about you, Al.
That's it.
Spanish guy.
Yeah.
Nothing to Chi-Chi here, though, huh?
Nah, no ole.
Norman, huh? Norman's over to himself. He doesn't want to be associated with anyone.
Norman the Conqueror.
It's a rough one, man.
Yeah.
He's had a rough fight.
That picture there looks like a painting, doesn't it? Doesn't it look like some painting there?
You know, that's some kind of lighthouse somewhere. Yeah, it's
Can you shelter the blinds, sir, so we can...
Yeah. Gives a better perspective.
Absolutely. You turn the lights on so you can stay awake.
Yeah, figure all that out.
Is that better? Joe? Joe, is that better?
I did not have such a lady that woman.
We got a quote today.
Here he says,
First of all, welcoming you to our recognition trip this year. You're all winners. We'd like to obviously show our appreciation this week for all the hard effort you put into PFE and to developing our business and moving it forward. And as we usually do, we just want to spend a few brief moments this morning just reinforcing what PFE is about, giving you a little update on some of the things we're working on as a company and how we're trying to move our group forward. And also just to re-emphasize the importance of partnerships. For those of you that have been to presentations that we've done before, you know that PFE has tried to focus on developing the spirit of partnership with our dealers and not just the spirit of vendor and customer. So we want to reinforce that today. You know, we don't know everything, and we're not about to try and tell you how to run your businesses. But what we want to encourage this morning is open communication and open exchange of ideas about how we're looking at the business, how we're looking at the future development of our dealerships. As you know, PFE is a dealer in Orange County and now Phoenix, and we're very much wanting to encourage that exchange this morning. So that's really what I wanted to emphasize to begin with. First of all, though, I wanted to, let's just test this. Maybe not. Hang on. There you go. Just to run through a few things this morning. I'm going to go through and just review what our actual unit and revenue performance was last year. Give you a little idea of what's happening internally within the business. Give you an idea of our vision for the 21st century, where we see the business developing. Look at some of the issues we're going to go through developing our internal group. Prepare our businesses for the 21st century, some of the things we're working on, and looking at the new opportunities we're trying to create for you and our channel. And then along with those new opportunities, the new products. So first of all, just to go through the revenue, go ahead. Have another click now, Warren. A couple of interesting figures here. Our Automela 1 and 1 Plus sales, by no surprise, were down 54% last year in unit terms. And as you can imagine, we all know what impacted that. That was the Mini Mailer Plus. Automela 2 is up 5%. Automela 3 up 21%. We had some very encouraging performance in both Atlanta and several of our dealer markets on the Auto 3s. And no surprise, the Mini Mailer Plus was up 95%. That was mini mailers, period. So that includes Smart Start 1, Smart Start 2, and the Plus series. And that's unit sales again, it's not revenue. As you can imagine, with that sort of swing, there's a significant impact on the revenue on Auto 1 Plus. What that led to, we look at our total desktop market, which is Automela 1 Plus and the Mini Mailer series, and we were overall up 21% in unit sales. So that's a very encouraging sign. From our point of view, while the revenue side may have been painful, the unit increases were significant. Our total revenues as a company were up 12%. And as I've mentioned, from a revenue perspective, exchanging that revenue and those dollars with Mini Pluses and Auto 1s was a challenge for us. But I think it was a positive challenge for everybody, and I think it was an encouraging process to go through. We'd obviously always like to see the significant impact on revenue, but sometimes you've got to walk before you run. So I think everyone agrees the Mini Mailer Plus is a superior product to many of the things, other products on the market. As a company, last year was challenging on the revenue side. I think we knew that was coming, and we behaved accordingly. So from a profit standpoint, we've continued to fuel the effort, and the growth in profit was significant, particularly given that we were also supplying most of those minis to ASCOM, and therefore reducing our GP. So overall, very encouraging year. I think we tend to look beyond just numbers on a page. I think all of us know that the most important things within the organization is also to be developing our internal groups, whether that's the technical support group, whether it's developing marketing and sales programs, or in the administration group. So I wanted to just highlight a few challenges that we've had as a group. One of the things that we've tried to focus on with the introduction of a new computer system is how we deliver and how available information is. And when we installed our new system in the fall of '98, it it's taken probably 12 months. I'm not talking about to end users necessarily. I think for the most part our retail service group performs fairly adequately in that environment, but my help desk is a challenge. I look at the on-hold times sometimes and I am frustrated by the amount of time some of the technicians spend waiting for someone to actually respond. Parts pricing. After-sale profitability on our products is as important as the upfront margin that we make on the sale of a piece of equipment. And both the UK and the US group have some answering to do as far as how we can address some of the pricing issues in parts. Product development. We have an increasing amount of ownership in the US for releasing and how we release new product and how we support that product, how we deliver the information to you, and it's something that I think we can improve on significantly. Integration support. One of the new challenges I think that we're all aware of as we migrate into this new world is that we're becoming and venturing into a world of integration. That means my support group has to provide a different level of support. And we are learning, we're taking that on board, but it's something we can definitely improve on. Proactive dealer development. I think we can always do better. And I think devoting time and energy within a organization and within that group to proactively work with your groups and not just be working in a reactive manner is of critical importance. You know, we shouldn't wait for the phone to ring. And particularly with our core group here, I want to make sure that every one of you is seeing a technician once a quarter. And that regional tech is there to assist you and help develop the service personnel. And once again, what is of critical importance to that group is how they're organized and how they communicate. And I think once again, last year all I saw both in admin and in technical group was getting caught up in this reactive mode. And that's not acceptable. So looking at some things we can do and that we are doing and action we're taking to try and develop those groups. We've had an organizational review in admin at the beginning of the year, and we are currently reorganizing that group to better serve both our internal customers and you, our external customers. We have developed a role for Philip Shaw, who is responsible for management, reporting, and procurement. Now, he is a liaison for you guys, particularly when it comes to things like your rebates and your RMAs. Okay, he's also the direct liaison for the sales group in getting their information on rebate reports, making sure the rebates are going out in a timely manner. And obviously from a procurement side, if you have an inventory issue or you are searching and want to escalate the requirement to deliver a product in a timely fashion, you need to talk to Philip. He's your point of escalation. He is our direct liaison with Deck and his group in the UK, and I think you'll find that he is highly efficient. It's really a new level.
Richard, for those that want to write this down, Philip's on extension 167. I just got to point out, and my guys would say the same thing, if you haven't dealt with Philip, you're going to be impressed. This guy is a real go-getter, and he'll get you your answers. So I just stopped Richard so that you could write that down. He is a very key person, 167.
As I've mentioned, one of the principal issues with supplying information, communicating in today's world is how we develop our information systems. So Stephanie started with us in March. Tom, is it March?
March, right.
Yeah. She's just started with us in March, and her sole responsibility is to develop that internal role and develop our systems for the future. Absolutely critical to us. Quite honestly, as being very open with you, I think we've been very late in doing it. We probably needed to do it a year ago. And I think none of us, we underestimated. The desktop, I think it actually went live, didn't it, April 1st?
April 1st.
There's now 2 options for service personnel calling in. so they can select either desktop or console level support. So there's 2 people manning the help desk at all times. We're in the process of recruiting and creating a new role within our group for this specific reason. We have technicians that have evolved from very much a retail service environment into a dealer support level. And a lot of them have got a lot of good experience, both whether it's been with competition in the past, whether it's been us over the years working in Atlanta. We have to raise the level of our group by recruiting a qualified engineer who can, at a high level, communicate with the UK and start to work very actively with the UK on the development issues. This guy's specific responsibility is going to be the 5 and working through the 5 issues. Now we're recruiting that guy now so that he can start getting involved with the whole beta test process in the UK. And that'll be his baby. He'll take responsibility for the beta testing in the UK and also in the US as soon as we get our first unit. But it's a different level of person. It's not someone we can recruit who's been a copier technician. It's a person who's actually got a degree in engineering with a high level of focus at this point on more of the mechanical issues. This isn't our software hardware integrator. This is our engineer. And I think it's absolutely critical that that is put in place before we get to 5. Let's not wait for it. And again, that highlights exactly where we've been. I think we've got caught in this reactive mode. Oh, we need that. Well, it's taken us 6 months to get to the point we need to be at. So, the other critical thing is how and looking at ways of developing our integration support program. Particularly today for the mail program. You know, it's raising all sorts of new issues to all of us. It's an absolutely critical product as far as I'm concerned. There's a technical group, we've got to take that requirement on board. We've been exploring, Kyocera actually closed their office in Atlanta, and we were exploring the possibility of recruiting one of their technical support specialists, which would obviously give us a one-up on where we're at today. Someone with a complete software integration and hardware integration background, particularly on the printer side. We're looking at installing and we have assigned regions again. So Mitch Young and Pete Reed are specifically assigned to 2 regions and are on the road for 2 weeks a month. And that is mandatory that they're out for 2 weeks a month. The other 2 weeks a month, they're responsible for covering the console support and the help desk. So we wanted to raise the level of support we were giving at console level, and that's what Pete and Mitch are going to do.
Richard, on that, the technical support visits, I'd let everyone in this room know that if you have a need or you know of a need coming up, because we have to plan that, let either Mark or Warren know in your respective regions so we can fill that into the schedule and make some stops for you. Because I know that some of you like them to come out and just do some recurrent training, that type of thing. So feed your needs to those 2 guys, and for the West Coast, you can feed them direct to me.
And the other thing that, as some of you know, Dave Bryant is our National Service Manager, and as I've highlighted, we are not allocating enough time to some of those proactive issues and development issues of that group. And the objective ultimately through our reorganization is to allow him to have more time to proactively develop that group. I've seen it in some of our dealerships. I'm experiencing it firsthand. I got a guy caught up in a reactive mode that's there to develop that group, and I have to free up his time so that he can grow the group rather than just react to it. And once again, communicate. Now, that's enough of the internal stuff. What I wanted to share with you is really my and PFE specific perspective on where we see our group evolving, where we see the opportunities evolving as a business. To venture into the world of systems integration by developing hardware solutions engineered to drive this requirement. PFE is not a large company, so there's a limit to what we can accomplish, but one thing we can create today and have created is a vehicle within our hardware to start developing into a new world. And PFE's vision at the moment as it stands is to carry on creating that opportunity. To build the hardware that allows you to step into that world. To start looking at what niche you're going to carve out in that world of integration. In our crude world of mailing, we're going to have an opportunity to define a specialized role within this systems integration. Not everyone's going to be able to walk in and do it. You can't call out any computer company or hardware support company to come in and show you how to set up and configure your mailing solutions and integrate them for you. And our role as retail businesses is going to be to take that on board and carve it out. Now, there are a couple of people in this room that I've talked with in the past and who I know are very actively involved in developing that opportunity within their businesses. We have to, as a channel, migrate away from standalone hardware. PFE's responsibility as a manufacturer is to create that opportunity within the confines of what it is today. Today, just even as recently as 12 months ago, we basically just supply you a box, you plug it into a 120-volt outlet, and off you go. Now, we're integrating that within a network. That's a huge step. Now, there's no question, if we look at the mail printer today, the mail printer is a developing product. It isn't perfect. It hasn't been perfected. But when you step into a new world like that and take such a big step, there are going to be challenges. Now, I think the design technically of that piece of hardware as a standalone piece is wonderful. It works. It functions perfectly. As soon as you step into the integration requirement, we create a whole new host of issues. PFE's learning, you're learning, but it's a critical step for all of us. And I think the most important thing is that we're creating that step, we're creating that vehicle, and it's moving us forward.
Why are we not making a turnkey system of that rather than like Fitton does? And that way you don't have the outside influences? You can limit your market that much?
I think one of the things, and I'm trying to just recall whether I've actually stepped into this or whether I'm coming to that in a second, but I'll answer that, Marsha. I think there's actually a prompt and I'll come into that, but it's a valid point. Hold that thought for 1 second. There we go. There we go. We're done.
Too long.
As far as the mail print is concerned, I think we've had a lot of discussions within our group. You know, obviously Tom, Warren, Mark, me, we all come and have traditionally been involved in selling and providing you with standalone hardware solutions. So we're making some steps, both technically, both in our sales group, both in our development group, to try and take on board and understand what we need to do differently to support this sort of product. The point that Marshall made is a very valid one. I think we have basically come out and broadcast this applications independent unit. Oh, it's applications independent. Go sell it anywhere. It's designed to work in anything. And what we fail to do is communicate what environments are practical to send the unit into and put up some fences. I don't know about you guys, but I would rather the manufacturer came to me and said, hey, sell it here, don't sell it there. Then sell it everywhere and find you got this, and every time you walk in, you got slightly different integration or application issue, and you're challenged every time you go and sell it, and that creates resistance in the sales channel. So I spent 3 hours discussing with the UK and their systems integration specialist, who is now heading up this new group within the UK, basically telling me, look, if you can do one thing for me, forget all your other stuff that you're looking pie in the sky stuff right now, just spend 1 month doing nothing but putting together a more clear definition of what environments are practical for a standalone machine that is behaving like a printer. Okay, so in other words, if you wanted to hook up a mail printer on a network and you were selling or sending 3 or 4 page or customer mail merges, fine, set it up as a standalone, as an integrated system, standalone on the network, just send one job at a time and off you go. But the key challenge there at the moment is as soon as you send the print file to the mail printer, it's gone. If I'm over here and I'm sending it 3 floors down in the building, I've lost the file. The file's gone. I don't get complete feedback in my office on how it's behaved or whether they've had a crash or whatever. And as far as I'm concerned, what needs to happen is if you're sending a print file of this size, it's got to be controlled at the mail printer. You've got to be able to drive it in the same way a Pitney Bowes drives the document. You've got to send the complete file and let the operator who's there drive that print job to its end, to its completion. The other thing that I think is of critical importance with mail printer is that we start to look at what other requirements you have. You have an addressing machine, you have a postage meter, a printer, and a folding and inserting machine. Now, do you think we as a group should treat it just like regular HP 5SI? You can't. There's way too many functions being performed. What I believe we need to look at is some sort of application driver that, similar to what Pitney Bowes has, which basically allows you to pull your different applications. So if I want to hook up with eStamp, for example, or ClickStamp, or Postal Soft, or whatever, I have an engineer or an engine that is at the front driving those print files and saying, do you want to use eStamp? Click here. Do you want to go and do your postal pre-sort and your address correction? Click there. Before you actually go to the print. And when it does go to send to print, finally you're actually managing that whole application. Now, if you've got a very small application, you're only sending 1 letter here, 2 letters here, I think you can treat it just as a printer. But as soon as you run a 2,000-3,000 mail merge, you've got to control that locally. Now, whether that means that you're going to say to the customer, well, send your print file here, or just run it as a standalone with the PC right next to the mail printer so that you can control it. If there is a problem, you can control the problem. You can then go and reprint if you need to reprint. But there are some challenges which I honestly feel today, in a lot of respects, the machine that you have sitting there today is more difficult to operate than a Mini Mailer Plus. Yet the people who are asking to buy this machine are Mini Mailer Plus customers. So we have to make that machine perform at the same level of idiot-proofness, but it has to be idiot-proof to those customers. They have to feel like it is just click here. It is menu prompted. Look at Quick Start. Now, can you go through a menu on a mail printer and accomplish the same thing that you can in Quick Start? No. Now, the UK group is listening. They are taking on board. I think you guys know PFE well enough to know that we're not going to sit here and tell you there aren't any issues. But what I am going to tell you is there are a number of happy customers with mail printers out there in the field. The ones that are having trouble are generally having trouble specifically with how they're supplying information to the mail printer. And when we end up losing it or they end up with an error, how they've actually retrieved the error. But what we have to put a serious amount of energy into, and you have my commitment that the UK group is committed to moving this forward very quickly, and Deck is talking as loud as anybody because he's got a production line. He's got to fuel that line. He's committed. He's committed in parts, he's committed in equipment, he's committed in labor. He wants to see it fueled more than anybody. And it's of critical importance that that whole systems group, whether it's the new integration team, or whether it's the software group who's working on the NT versions at the moment, and the new version is coming out now, it is available now, but that we embrace the requirement with this product. The reality is, though, as an opportunity, we're the only ones on the market with the product right now. Now, the first obligation we have to you is to put some more fences up. And we're going to do that very quickly. Define more clearly where you should sell it, where it can work efficiently, and tell you to avoid certain situations until the next driver issue resolves that particular problem. And actually define the operating environment for you. But take note, the operating environment that I see when you go to a large mail application or a larger mail merge, when it exceeds, let's say, 500 pieces, it needs to be controlled in a standalone local environment. And it will work. When you hook it up on a network and everyone's sending them from all over the place, and no one specifically is controlling it and operating it, then you're in an endless loop. So, our obligation very, very quickly, as soon as we can, is to define more clearly where it practically can be solved. Our obligation in the future is to look at how we can drive the applications and look at a more integrated delivery mechanism, whether that's the e-stamp solution, which is going to be delivered very quickly. We've got an opportunity again with e-stamp. We can use e-stamp today. We can print 33 cents on there. We can use postal soft or whatever address correction and pre-sort software, and we can claim a value-added refund. That can be done today. Now, how many other systems are out there today delivering postage on an envelope with an inserter, with an addressing machine, with a print? None. It's a unique opportunity. Yes? Sure.
Richard, it would be nice to see, and again, I had a nice chat last night with Hans and stuff and both about the mail printer and the pain they've gone through the last 12 months. Now that you know we're just venturing into this in the next week or two with ourselves with the mail printer, we're ready to go full speed ahead, and I'm happy to see you're going to set up, as you say, fences. It'd be nice to see a grid laid out clearly of the applications, and then across the grid saying, you know, expected release date, you know, available, and just how you say parameters, so that way we can map out so we don't waste the time and go through the painstaking efforts that, you know, our counterparts have, you know, and I think that would make it clear if you could see a grid. And that way you could see, and also for the future in selling this product, because it seems to me a lot like the ASCOM's IMCM, this is going to be an evolving product. This is going to be a product that's going to be changing as time marches on, and for customers to be able to sell it, that's a great opportunity to say, this is where we're going with this product.
It's communication. We've got to communicate with you guys. We've got to tell you and show you, and believe you me, this isn't the first time these issues have come up. We've asked, and we've been working with the UK on saying, look, you've come in, you walked into our office in July, and you basically presented a sales training to our group and said, the application's independent. And everyone looks at it and goes, oh, it's application independent, we can sell it anyway. So off we go. And I think you're absolutely right. That's what we've defined, Joe. We want to see a map. Okay? Show us. Tell us. You know, I think one of the missing links, quite honestly, in the UK has been we've basically been communicating direct with the R&D group. Well, they're creative people and they're R&D people. They're not so concerned with what our sales channels are. And what Ray has done by introducing this systems manager, or what is his actual title? Systems Development Manager. Systems Development Manager. His function is this mail printer to live these issues that the channels challenge with. Not the technical jargon necessarily, but specifically what we need in information. And it's absolutely critical.
Is there a secure place on your internet that allows dealers to go into, to share these ideas, to be able to download
Software. Yep.
software?
Absolutely. I think you guys have access. You all have access to that. If you haven't subscribed to the technical support program with your CD-ROMs, your manuals, and the help desk in the UK, they then download, and you can download directly off there.
So I mean, is there a separate area though for the mail printer that they
You go to the technical site and it says mail printer new firmware version blah blah blah. I believe it's easy. Yeah. Very
Is
easy.
it Joe?
Are you talking about receiving, or are you talking about giving feedback?
I'm talking about
Both.
receiving.
Both, and feedback
You
though.
talk-
Right now what we're doing, the UK has certainly the provision for technical bulletins and new firmware and software releases on their internet site, which is accessed by your technical group's password. what we're doing now with Stephanie coming on board is setting up our own UK or US website, which will mirror a lot of what's on the UK site, but we'll also have our own bulletin pages. So we have to set up a firewall, and we're in the process of doing that at the moment.
Richard, there's going to be an email or a US website where we have emails and technical access and that type of thing that'll be functional in the summer of this year, as you're aware of. So I think that might be more what Joe's looking for. So we have our own website address, you'll be able to go in, pull down pre-test technical schedules, input, you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
Exactly right. More not necessarily so much technical, but more sales assistant and sales guidance and also, you know,
Right.
having the ability to, because let me tell you, I mean, after talking to these guys last night, they've done a lot of work with this. They got a lot of knowledge already out there. They have a lot of experience already out there. Why should I have to reinvent the wheel and go through the pain and the effort? Because, you know, our most valuable asset is time. You know, we're all struggling for trying to allot our time to the different products we sell and support. And if we can get to see them run, it's just going to be more placements. And as you say, don't waste your time with network systems right now. Try to go after those standalone stations, grow it slowly, and then expand from there.
It's not necessarily, Joe, just to reiterate on this network thing. The machine with the new version of Firmware will run on networks, and we have customers using NT. The challenge is how the information is delivered. If I'm in my other office and I deliver the whole print file directly to the mail printer, it's gone. It's like sending it to your 5SI. You can't control it after that until there's a problem. So in that environment, you've got to be, if you sell it in a network environment, you've got to send the print files to a local PC, which then controls it. Okay, so it might be attached to your network, but you're not going to just send it to the mail printer. You're going to send it to in a file format to the person that's going to control that application.
Is the document match networkable?
No,
So we should sell with a PC?
you can look at it as selling with a PC, or the customer uses their own PC, whatever's preferred.
But in the network environment where you're working with SAP or Unix systems, that's not allowed. Nobody will accept that you download a file on a PC and then to make a print. They will have a direct access with feedback.
When
I
you
mean, I have a lot
mentioned
of experience about with big companies, international, multinational companies, they will not accept a download file to a PC from a salary data or sensible data. They will go direct.
when you look at that application, Hans, and you say, okay, I'm in the Unix world, I'm venturing into, what was the other one you were using? SAP. SAP. You go into Unix or SAP, and Hans's point was, those people aren't going to want to take secure information like checks, payroll processing, invoicing statements, and just deliver those files to some remote PC. Great point. That's not the market for the mail printer.
But a lot of no, that's the market, because a lot of installation there are sold there.
There are
90%.
But today's market.
Yeah, okay.
Today's market for the mail printer is as a marketing tool.
See, in my opinion, you're selling this.
It's a
in my
direct
opinion,
marketing. Sorry?
You should be selling this to the mail runner,
Right.
right? Well, why do you have to integrate it with everything else? That's what I'm trying to get. I don't understand the whole concept of networking this product. What's the value of networking this product?
The value of networking, for example, in Chase Mellon, which is an application up in New Jersey, those guys have 5 or 6 customer services reps. They have 6 different letterheads that they use, or 5 different letterheads, and 5 different logos. So they use the machine with these customer service reps sending chase letters or customer response letters of some sort, and then they use it to format the same logo. They blank stationery, blank envelopes. They can print the logos for each customer or for each division without having to change the pieces. And they send maybe 10 letters or 15 letters at a time. You know, it might be a call center market. You know, you might have 50 people on the phone all day, and every time they hang up the phone, they send a response to the customer. And they just send it to their mail printer that's sitting on the network. I think in our conventional applications, when you think direct marketing application, you're running your database just like you run your addressing machine. No, why? Control it on your local PC, wash your database. I think that's fine. You start venturing into billing applications, check processing, what else? HR applications. Then you have a requirement to integrate it. with the AS400 platforms and everything else.
So the message was misunderstood. We always think that's the tool for direct, sensible data without any access for other people. They cannot see any paper. Data goes directly in the envelope. It's a higher level of security for the platform. But maybe that was a misunderstanding.
I don't think necessarily it's a misunderstanding. I think that's one of the opportunities that Mailprinter creates. Now, is the platform that we have available today ready to take that on board?
We have, Rich, we have customers that, at least two very good customers that buy everything from us, and we kind of holding them off, looking at the product and checking on the reliability of the product, hoping that the dealers here, the last couple of days. And they're on AS400 environment. I mean, they're looking at PE voters, the documents, and what do you do with clients like that? How would you, if you were me, what would you do?
We are partnering right now and looking at a company called ICI Innomate, which was also involved in,
Windsor.
Windsor.
Yes.
Now, they have developed an AS400 driver. They've modified the driver to accommodate an AS400 platform. Now, is that ready to release? No. But there's no reason why, when you're sending to the documents your complete print file, that you can't send a complete print file to the mail print, or to a local PC that is holding those print files, just like the documents do. Okay, so you can still approach it in the same way, because documents are still going to accept a complete print file. They can't run online. It has to be downloaded to the mail, to the document.
It just would be nice, like I said before, to have my propel heads speak to your geeks, when you get them aboard, so that we can have that, hand-holding and that, contact that we need. I mean, this
Well, I think that's the one thing, maybe what comes out of this meeting is, Ronnie just raised a point. I mean, he'd like to see these technical gurus all get together and discuss some of these issues. And maybe one of the suggestions comes out that we should bring a couple of the UK people to just listen and exchange information with our groups. Invite some of your groups, some of anyone else who wants to come, and we'll have a meeting in Atlanta and have them all together.
I think that would be great. That's a great idea.
It is
Especially now, because you have some dealerships here ready to take that step forward. I think that would just save an awful lot of time, and more importantly, a lot of the frustration. We can help set up guidelines and have our technical people say, okay, this is where we need to go, this is how you should do it, this is what your pitfalls are. Because right now, you got a room full of 8 people here. If all of a sudden every one of us sent a file to that mail printer, what would happen? It's probably disappear, right? I mean, these are things you go, if I'm on this thing, and someone asks me that question, I don't know right now.
But that's, that's the whole idea behind, having the development area in your business.
Right.
Because it touches so many, PFE, ASCOM, it's all integrated, it's all software, it's a software world for this. And you have one wrong answer with the IT department on the other side of the table.
Your credibility shot.
See you later. Absolutely. And I'm not gonna, take the chance of putting in the product when a very, very good customer, when the whole thing just gonna go up in your face, I'd rather walk away and wait till it's perfected. As much as, Jeff wants to make these things, the cookie cutter thing with the whole time. I mean, that's great, but
it's communication again. We've got to have a very open dialogue with you during this phase of this product. And if we fail to communicate this to you, then we are going to end up, you're going to turn the switch out.
And we're all going to miss a good opportunity.
And we're all going to say, well, it's not ready yet. There's too many things. Oh, I don't understand that. I don't understand that. And you've got all these red lights going up, and we're sitting there going, oh, well, we've got to open that dialogue. You guys aren't going to feel comfortable unless you're in the loop. Unless you hear clearly, you see clearly how we're progressing with the product. And that is of critical importance through this whole process with this product. What I can't emphasize enough, though, is how strongly I feel and how critical this product is to our businesses. Because it opens it's a vehicle to get where we want to go. And for us, as a standalone hardware manufacturer, it's a huge step. And there's some critical obligations we have during that process. But there's certain applications within particularly direct marketing, which the mail printer as it stands today is fine. Go sell it. Take all your low-end addressing machines, all your DA300s and anything in that similar category, sell them a mail printer.
Richard, if I could ask, George has sold, what, 3 or 4 of these, George? Could you just quickly tell these people in what industries you were selling?
Yeah, what markets?
Location.
Ronnie, close your ears. They're all Long Island first.
By the way, you live here, don't you?
Tour connected to AS400s.
One specifically is a university that's similar to what Richard was indicating about. It is network. Different departments send it down to the mail. So they have to let them know it's coming first because your situation's right. You don't want 2 different departments sending at the same time because then things get all messed up. So each department sends their own mailing out, alumni, bursars, and it's immaterial, and then the person in the mail will take the information and get it out the door.
Time out 1 second. Do they send it directly to the printer or do you have a PC there?
Well, right now, they have a PC there because we installed it before the network card was available. We're in the process of networking the product. But it still was networked. It was just networked on this terminal, but they would send me the data, like Richard indicated, to there. And
What do you call that? It's called a, what do they call that?
What, a shared?
Shared printer.
Yeah.
It's a shared printer.
Correct.
Shared versus true
Once they
network.
got the information to this PC, then they go into the properties of the mail printer and send it the way they want it. Other applications is a marketing company. The guy does a letter and multiple inserts, and he does his, CAS and pay certification, and then prints it up in there and mails it out. And the other one was a stationery company that did their billing, and in each billing they would send, special pricing on whatever variety of information, and just work it that way.
What type of volumes are we talking?
The universities are not that much. The marketing was doing 17 to 20,000 piece mailings at a clip, and he's the best one that got out. That's the one they've been calling for references to other countries.
Are they addressing the envelope? They put in a window envelope?
No, they're addressing. Buying this for a window envelope, could be a small part of the application. I don't feel you buy this for the window envelope application. You want to do the match mailings, and that's the critical.
Warren, you've got a couple of dealers that have a couple of units.
Installed, I guess it's a week, 2 weeks ago now, into a utility company. It's not variable statements, but it's processing statements and sending them out. And they brought it in-house, they set it up on their own network and made sure everything was working, and then went out and installed it. And the last time I checked with them, which was about a week ago, about three or 4 days after the install, everything is going just fine. And then the other one is IMS of Columbus has a city.
Like selling the software with the addressing printers. Who wanted to sell the goddamn software? You made no money on it.
Right.
And you needed it because the client, it had to be easy for them.
And your racks and
And that's
brains.
what we need with this product here.
What we have to do is we have to more openly communicate and become a lot more focused on how we communicate with this product right now. Where to go sell it, when not to sell it, whatever. But we have to open that dialogue with you very quickly. We have an obligation to do that. The other thing that we can't avoid, and I think is probably the greatest opportunity also for this product right now, is it's a unique way to market F&I product. When you start marketing this in a direct mail piece, or through your telemarketing program, or through trade shows, the response is tremendous. Because people say, well, you got a postage meter, an addressing machine, a printer, and an inserter.
And it's an IT system as well.
If all we do is lead with the opportunity to sell that solution, and we arrive at, well, your application is really more suitable for a standalone system, and we sell standalone systems, it gives us a unique opportunity to market our document handling solutions, and also start promoting the fact that we're in a solutions business. We're no longer talking about a standalone lump, and everyone says, well, addressing or F&I? No, we're talking about a laser printer, an addressing machine, a postage meter, and address correction system, whatever. But it's complete. Now, how many of those products do we have in our line? The only one. But it gives us a unique opportunity to venture into and create and uncover more opportunities to even sell standalone systems. So I think from a marketing viewpoint, we've got to be using it. We've got to use it as our lead product to generate and drive the business for the other products also. Because if all you do is you're going to create a tremendous amount of interest. They've already seen it in the UK. When they do a mailing on a mail printer, their return rate is 2 or 3 times what it was on a standalone piece of hardware.
Because it's easy.
But I think it's very important to tell once again the guys, also when you are working in an offline version, you send the file and you don't know what's happened with the file. If you have a jam, you're losing data and you have to reprint the rest, but you don't know where you are, how much space you are printing. That's the actual situation. With the new drive,
platform that takes that on board. Except it'll take it on board slightly differently. It'll have a printer that rolls up to the back end. The software platform allows you to track those pieces and the personalized piece all the way through the system until it gets to the exit where it's going to be inkjetted. And there'll be inkjet heads. I think I showed some of you where it's planned to put the inkjet heads. But it'll be the same platform. And now you start to talk about the documentation, how that's configured. You're going to have to manage those print files. And what I honestly see is that we develop your document handling software solution, if you like, that is this print management. It's almost like a print manager. Okay, does that make sense? Doing more of what's like a First Logic gets involved in, where you're actually starting to manage the print files, you manage the data streams. You might have multiple data files, multiple print streams. So you've got to commingle those files, decide how you're going to manage them. You might want to take 5 different mailings, statements and invoices, wash those 2 print files together and say, well, I got 3 pages going to this guy. They're different documents, but I want to put them in one envelope. So we get into this whole role of managing the print files. And it's a very important function of what we start to do, particularly when you get into a system the size of an automated file. So when we walk in there, we sell a complete document handling system. All the customer's going to do to us in the future is deliver us print files in one way, shape, or form.
Warren, isn't that what automated mailing does with DCS?
Document control system.
It's already being done to a certain extent, Richard, which
Right.
is good.
Absolutely. But we're going to be very active. The point is we're going to be more actively involved in that world.
That's the right way to go.
Okay? And it's pushing us in that direction. What we've got to do is embrace the requirements. Go ahead, Marshall. Automailer 2. The next version of Automailer 2, which is in action right now, I don't think we'll see it before Automailer 5, but it is on the way and it will create the same sort of platform. You talked about, someone asked me about multiple inserts, and the documents can do 4 or 5 inserts. George, I think it was you, wasn't it? The Automailer 2 will be designed and configured in such a way that it can compete with that document application. So it can spray the address, it can spray the postage meter or the indicia, it can spray the customer's logo, whatever. But we'll be finishing the complete face of the envelope. We'll be printing on the back end of the machine with whoever's printer. Okay? Unknown at this point, but that will be part of the solution. Now, one thing that's going to be absolutely critical to PFE, and if you can hear one thing from us, as I said, we're a relatively small group. There's a limit to what we can accomplish. What is absolutely critical to PFE in this next 5-year period is to align ourselves with strategic partners that assist us in getting to where we need to be. The right companies moving in the right directions that can round out our solutions offering, can round out your solution offering to your end user. And our responsibility to a group is to understand that as a manufacturer, I've got to embrace that requirement. Who are we going to align with on document handling on the print management side? Who are we going to align with on the franking side, on the metering side? Who is providing us those solutions? And one thing I'll tell you right now, as far as I'm concerned, we are very seriously evaluating who at the moment we are aligning ourselves with and moving forward with. You know, it's critical to all of us that our manufacturers are moving in the right direction because they are creating our opportunities for the future. And my responsibility to you as a manager of PFE Inc. is to make sure that we are positioning ourselves so that you can provide that solution. But I think it's an issue for all of us. You know, we look at our vendor list, we look at where we're buying equipment from. Are those companies moving in the right direction? Are they going to create the opportunity I need for the future? Do I have the confidence in them? And my responsibility is to provide and give you that confidence that we are embracing the requirement for the future. We are going to create more opportunity for your employees. And if there's any feedback you can give us in assisting us with that function, then please give it to us. But it's a very big challenge to PFE, because PFE is not Pitney Bowes, we're not Neopost, we're not ASCOM. We don't have that same resource base. So how we partner, we're not in the arena, we're not going to sit there and say, oh, we can be standalone and sit there out in this little world. You know, we're looking to continue to develop the relationships with you and the partnerships with you, our dealers, and thank you for your continued support. You know, we value the relationships we have with you as dealers, and we're looking forward to continuing to build those relationships into the next dimension, into the future of document handling solutions. So, thanks for your attention, and we'll
Hey.
Okay, there we go. I just said I might want to get some oxygen masks to come down so you guys can take some deep breaths. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to talk, and I'm sure that's going to bother a lot of you. My voice is breaking. I've had some requests to either not do it at all or to cut it short. So with that, why don't we get into it, Warren?
Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah, all right. Like deliberate part two.
Deliverance part two.
This is a rough group, man.
And in conclusion, we don't have to dwell on that slide. Let me start by congratulating all of you. Now, I'm going to have another shot at you on Monday night at the awards banquet, so I'm not going to say too much now, but let me just say to these players at Focus Level 1, an outstanding job. And give yourself a so much for introducing the players for those Warren. I was about to say that we have.
What the fuck you doing? So fast.
I was about to say we have George Friedman and Marcus Bloomberg from ASAP.
Let's focus too.
Okay, good deal, Warren. All right, and congratulations to the Level 2's Mailship.
Thanks a lot, Warren.
Walter Hopkins is here from Mailship. We have Ron Keenan from Innovative Mailing and Systems. And of course, D-Man, Mike Griffin. Mike.
Three-time vocal.
And to the Focus Level 1, again, George Friedman. Marshall Goldberg. No Bobby, and of course, Gary, Big G Lolo, go, Gary Hacker.
Oh, drum.
Yeah. Now let's get to our sales category.
Well, we gotta run
Here
and then.
Once again, good job. Walter, Ronnie, Mike, good job. And for the sales folks.
Go back to focus one.
The men, Dennis, Williams, Dennis, Gary, Wood, and Birmingham Valley. And Jim Owens Jr., Melly's assistant speech. Jimmy, are you there, bud? I'm there. On the drum. Ed, on the drum. Ed, coming in from San Jose, Triforce Valley Solutions. I love this part. Angelo Carwanda. Yeah. Carwanda.
There'll be no clapping here.
That should have done it. We're going to talk a little bit about direct marketing activities. You've heard from Richard really on the new product launches, so we won't have to spend too much time. No, I don't have any handouts.
372, we have been in contact with them a lot, but maybe we just needed a different approach, so we end up getting 21 qualified hot leads back off this, 62 that are just simply qualified, and 110 we couldn't make contact with or the correct person 3 times. But out of that, we have already got 2 sales, and this rejuvenated a sale that it looks like we're going to get 30 systems for 1 sale off this on the Series 3. So this is what the program did for us, and it actually saw that these customers and let our reps see that they were actually interested again. It's just taking a different approach, and we really got a lot of good activity off of it.
The reason I asked him to do that, there's 2 others in here, and some of the other, a few other dealers will also be taking part in it. Depends on what the list is. I mean, the results are never guaranteed, but even the ones where the lists were not your own list, but ones that we bought, I think, Rob, you got at least 8 leads on yours, and I think Marshall got about the same, and I know you closed one out of it. So it's not the be-all, end-all for lead generation, but that's the name of the game here, right? We are as of the end of first quarter.
Whoa.
First place is IME in Sacramento, Rob Beadway, followed by National Growing System. Nice job, boys. But I caution you, don't count anybody out, as you'll hear me say Monday night. Next. Level 2, automated mailing equipment and Fishers Inc. Everybody remembers Pounders, some of you guys? Pounders back out there pounding the street. Somebody's looking at it again. And Mr. Walter Hopkins is in there, number 2, Mail Ship Technology and IMS of Columbus, who was here last year. And last, for sales dealers, Premier Systems in Jackson, Mississippi is currently on top. Triforce, Angelo Carr, won it. And Gary Shank, ITS Mailing Systems at this point. Good.
Take a walk here. Quiet. Oh, gentlemen, this is for the folks back home. See the rich stateliness that we've been exploring here for the last 4 days.
I'm gonna get a picture of
Huh? Gotta get the woodwork. There's another looking good guy here. George. Yeah, I'm taping everybody.
Somebody told me you're moving back to Nashville, is that right? Excuse me? Somebody told me you're moving back to Nashville, is that right?
Yeah. Moving to Nashville, never moved there.
Is that right, really? Somebody told me you were thinking that. Huh.
George going to Nashville?
I party there a lot, but I never.
I don't think you're having too well in your life.
Cameraman is here.
Yeah. This is the place. This is the meeting room. Right here. Yeah. Hello there, gang.
Our roving reporter.
Roving reporter, right here. I gotta get a picture of this bar.
This bar is magnificent.
Mike, you want to point out a specialties of the house?
Stefan is the special of the house.
There he is, Mr. Stefan from Frankfurt, Germany.
Good evening. Good evening.
All right. Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
You get a little nappy in?
Yeah, a little restful, watching news. All right, enough of that. Save it for the castle.
What is it? What do you have? It's Carlsberg. It's draft. It's good. It's just a light lager.
My tape is ending, so let's get volume 2 going here at the castle.
Did you get the fireplace? Yeah.
Hey, you look good here too, Warren. This is the lounge. There it is, the infamous fireplace. Sorry, buddy.
Hey, Tom.